went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June, 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Bamberley's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bleeding.
You're watching Toon Army TV. Welcome back to the channel. This is the match preview. It's Spurs versus Newcastle United this Sunday in the Premier League. It's at the new White Hart Lane, 2 o'clock kickoff. Just before I jump into the match preview, if you could please spare 2 seconds of your time to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, hit the like button and get interactive down below in the comment section of your starting 11s and your score predictions. If you could subscribe, it would really help the channel to grow and go a long way. I do regular content for Newcastle United and I really want to get to that 3,400 subscriber mark, so please help me out. So jumping into the match preview, if you haven't seen them before, in the first half of the preview I talk all things Newcastle United, so the previous results, how Steve Bruce is going to go about the game, players to watch out for if you're an opposition fan watching, so Newcastle players that are going to make the difference on the day, and I'm going to give my predicted starting 11 for Newcastle United that Steve Bruce will go with against Spurs on Sunday. Then in the second part of the preview, I'll talk all things the opposition. This video, Tottenham Hotspur, their previous results, how they're going to go about the game under Jose Mourinho formation-wise, players to watch out for if you're a Toon fan watching on the Tottenham side of things, their threats, and then at the very end, I will give my score prediction for the game. So keep watching to find out what I predict at the end of this preview. So jumping into it, the Toon, well, will come off the back of a 7-0 victory in the Carabao Cup against Morecambe of League 2. A very routine, straightforward victory. What can you take from that game going into Sunday? Well, confidence. That's the main thing. After what was a very disappointing Premier League 3-0 home defeat to Brighton on Sunday just gone. We deserved to lose. We were on the floor. We didn't really offer anything in the game. We were second best all over the park. Pedestrian, not taking responsibility. I could say anything about that performance. And you want a quick fire game? Well, we got it with a League 2 side in Morecambe and we completely played them off the park. Yes, it's Morecambe, but at the end of the day, you can only beat what's put in front of you. There's confidence there for Joe Linton, who got a couple of goals. He'll know all about Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday. Miggy, got a couple of goals. Jacob Murphy, I thought, was man of the match the other night. Fantastic. I'll talk about him in a second. But that's what you want. After a 3-0 home defeat, you want to have a game very, very quickly and to dispatch a side, and you want to punish a side going into your next big league match, which for us is Tottenham Hotspur. And I was impressed with the performance. At the end of the day, you want to see goals in the side, and that's what you sort of pay your subscriptions for, or you pay your money for to watch games, to watch your side do well. In this case, we can't go to games, but you know where I'm coming from. And you have to be impressed with the way we performed on Wednesday night and how Steve Bruce, went about the game with his formation, his team selections, etc. Now, at the end of the day, Morecambe are down there, but Tottenham, they're up there. And we're going to have to try and match that because we got beat off Brighton, who are like there, where we are mid-table. And we'll have to try and respond very, very quickly. We got brought back down to earth very, very quickly. And that's what can happen in the Premier League. You beat West Ham 2-0. You get 2 debut goals for Callum Wilson and Jeff Hendrick. You're beating Blackburn 1-0. You can get overhyped. But then you can find out the realities of this Premier League. And you've got to remember, and I hope Steve Bruce would have learned, that each team is different and how they go about, their games. Graham Potter is different to David Moyes and how, in terms they attack games. And I'm sure Jose Mourinho will have one over Steve Bruce if we go in to the game with the same attitude. Now, players to watch out for if you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan watching. I have to say ASM. I don't think he'll start the game, but he will have some sort of impact if that is the second half. He's a player who likes to cut in. He likes to break down a defence. He's been brought in to score goals and bring players into the match. Miguel Almiron, he's got a goal against Morecambe, but he's doing very well. Not really made too many appearances for the new season, but when he has come on, he's always made a difference. He's very positive in terms of getting forward. He does need the service, and he is learning. Each season he's getting better and better. Each month you watch him, and with the goals that he's scoring, expect him to peel off the defence. If you're caught sleeping, he will put the ball into the back of the net. Callum Wilson, our focal point, I believe, on Sunday, who was signed from Bournemouth, 20 million quid. An old-fashioned striker, very similar to Harry Kane. If you give him the service, he'll peel off the last man, he'll put the ball in the back of the net. He's very good from attacking set pieces, so that could be corners coming into the box, or even a free kick. He'll definitely head one in. He's got it all. He's definitely going to be our go-to guy for, getting into the box, being in the right place at the right time, because we've missed that, over the last few seasons. We need someone who we can rely on to put that ball into the back of the net. You could say John Joe Shelby, Isaac Hayden, possibly Jacob Murphy. There's players there that can make the difference on the day. So if you're not feeling up to it, we have got game changers in our side if and when the game's flowing in our favour. Now, the side that I think Steve Bruce will go with, he'll go with a 4-4-2, no question. But I'd like to go with the formation that Steve Bruce went with last season, which actually worked, the 4-2-3-1 formation. So I'm going to go in goal, Carl Darlow. I'd like to see Gillespie, but unfortunately, he's now been dropped to number 3, but number 2 for now because Dubravka is out injured, and Darlow's been promoted to number 1, so he's been starting, the Premier League matches. I just don't think that Darlow commands his box very well, but I think he will start on Sunday. Now, the back 4, left back, I'm going to go with Emil Kraft. Jamal Lewis picked up an eye injury against Brighton last time out. I do wish him a speedy recovery. He seems to be on the mend, but he has got very bad scarring around his eye, and his eye was closed according to Steve Bruce. So I have to say, if you look at Emil Kraft, he played really well against Morecambe the other day, and I think he deserves his chance. At right back, I'm going to go with Javier Manquillo. He didn't feature against Morecambe. He just needs a break. He was playing too many games, and he will feature on Sunday against you lot. And I think he's a very attacking minded. He is very positive. He is definitely learning, his game. He wasn't so good at the very start, but since getting that contract and playing well last season, you can see what he brings to the side. The back 2, so the defenders, Captain Jamal Lascelles and Federico Fernandez. Federico will come straight back into the side. He didn't play against Morecambe. With middle 2, I'm going to go with John Joe Shelby and Isaac Hayden. In the number 10, I'm going to go with Miggy Almiron. He'll come straight in. He's going to be our go-to man in terms of trying to get with forward and try and get Callum Wilson firing on all cylinders. He's very positive, and we need positive players that can drive the team forward. Someone who's going to keep it ticking, and we're going to massively rely on Miggy to show his brilliance once more against Tottenham. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Joe Linton. I want to see Joe Linton put in his preferred position. I don't think he's a striker. He scored 2 goals against Morecambe. He's full of confidence. He scored against you lot last year in the 1-0 win for us. You want to see him, get a quick-fire game so he can maybe get that goal. I'm not saying he's going to score on Sunday, but who knows? After what he did against Morecambe, he looked confident. I know I've said this before. He scored against the likes of Rochdale and Sheffield United, but just hasn't done it. But he's got to start doing it now, with the players that he's got around him, and who I'm going to talk about in a second. There's no reason why Joe Linton can't make an impact in this match on Sunday. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Jacob Murphy. Very controversial. I thought he played very well against Morecambe the other day. He was a threat down that right-hand side. He was very positive. He scored one. He made one. He was bringing players into the match. And let's be honest, he could have scored a few on the night. I'm a big fan of Jacob Murphy. I do believe he's got a lot more to offer. Steve Bruce said in his post-match press conference that he's not going to drop him. He's not going to get sent out on loan again. He's become a better player since, playing for Sheffield Wednesday last season. He's become a stronger player. And we don't pay £12 million, pound for nothing. And I want to see him, do well in a Newcastle shirt. Now, ASM, don't get me wrong. Steve Bruce has said that he wasn't going to play against Morecambe because he didn't play very well against Brighton and he was injured. But I do think he will have some part into the game. I just don't think he's going to start. I could be wrong. ASM will most likely come on in the second half to see where the game's at, and then Steve Bruce will sort of feed him, into, maybe that right-hand side, depending on where Jacob Murphy is, on the match. But listen, I think he deserves it. If you're banging in goals and you're assisting, then why not? At the end of the day, it's now Jacob Murphy's chance to really show what he's about as a TOON player, to show the fans what he can be capable of doing in a match. And we know what Jacob Murphy can do. We know he's positive, but he now needs to keep performing at a higher level and prove his price tag. And we know that he can do it, but we can hopefully see it on Sunday. And up front is Callum Wilson. Now, he didn't play very well against Brighton, but he wasn't alone in it. He was very isolated. But I think with the confidence of the lads scoring in midweek, like Miggy and Joe Linton, then hopefully we can be more positive. I'm sure they can't be any worse than last Sunday. We've got to be more positive. We can't keep giving the ball away, because if we do, then Spurs will be, onward just like that. That's what they do. They'll be scoring. That's what Spurs are like. They've got the side, you know, we're losing 3-0 to Brighton, right, without Callum Wilson doing much, but Spurs will put 6, 7, 8 past you. And I think if we can get the service into Callum Wilson, he's that player who, again, he'll put himself about, someone who, you know, if you're going to break forward, he'll be at that right place at the right time, whereas last season we weren't seeing it with Joe Linton. But if we played Joe Linton on the left and put Callum Wilson up front on his own, but then Joe Linton's got that focal point, do you know what I mean? Joe Linton can work well with, you know, Callum Wilson, but you could say Ryan Fraser could start, etc., etc., but we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday. But that is my, you know, starting 11 song to say. In goal, Cardolo, back four, Federico Fernandez, Jamal Lascelles, Emil Kraft, and Javier Manquillo. The middle two, Shelby and Isaac Hayden. Number 10, Miggy Almiron. The left-hand side, Joe Linton. Right-hand side, Jacob Murphy. And up front, Callum Wilson. But let me know down below in the comments what you would go with on Sunday afternoon. Now, let's jump into Tottenham. So Tottenham, they lost 1-0 on the opening day at home to Everton. Let's be honest, they weren't great. Everton should have won by more. But then they had to bounce back, and they surely did last week in the Europa League. They won in the qualifiers, and then they bounced back with a bang in the next Premier League outing, and that was away to Southampton, beating them 5-2. Son scoring 4 and Kane scoring 1. And Kane actually assisted all 4 of, you know, Heung-min Son's goals. And we know what them two are about. We know that they're very good players, and we know that Tottenham are a good side. And then they've obviously just beaten another side in the Europa League qualifier. So they're in a very good moment. Just as well they didn't play the game against Leyton Orient, because they would have been tired for Sunday. They would have played Southampton Sunday, then they would have had Leyton Orient on the Tuesday, then they would have had a Europa League qualifier on the Thursday, then the TOON on Sunday. So it's kind of worked out in their favour. But then no one's really got an advantage because the games are coming so thick and fast. But in terms of Spurs, you know, they're a very good side. You know, we're going to have to be on one game, because Spurs, they will be up there come the end of the season. They will be, you know, challenging for, you know, those top 4, top 6 spots. Mourinho is a very good manager. I do rate him. I know he was getting a lot of criticism last year from the Tottenham fans, which you don't blame them, you know, because they had Pochettino, he got sacked. But I think with Mourinho, he's definitely building something at that club. He's a manager who he will win something over time. It's just going to take a little bit of patience. Tottenham aren't known for winning many things. Obviously, they haven't won anything since 2008. But with Mourinho, I think you're in good hands. Now, you've got to remember, last season, a lot of that side was Poch's, and Mourinho was just trying to instill some of his philosophy into that side, and he was wanting that sort of season to end 2019-2020. And now with this new season, you can see that he's starting to change things around. He's getting the players in that he wants, such as Gareth Bale from Real Madrid on loan, Rougelon from Real Madrid, the left back who they've just signed, and they've got Doherty from Wolves. So he's starting to bring in players that can make a difference, and they're more attacking-minded players. And that's what Spurs fans have been crying out for, players that can really impress, you know, on the big stage, you know, that new stadium. And I think Spurs, you know, are a side that can actually win the Premier League one day. Who knows? But they are a side that are capable of winning trophies of any description with that manager in charge. And I think Mourinho, it's just going to take a bit of time, but he's a very good, tactically, you know, decent manager there who will, on his day, he will be looking to try and break us down at every one time. You know, he would have done his research on how we played against Morecambe, how we played against, you know, Brighton, to how Spurs are going to get at us. He's changed the formation, I believe. It was Everton he played, was it a 4-2-3-1? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then against Southampton, he played a 4-3-3 attacking formation, which got a 5-2 win. Now, is he going to go that formation on Sunday? Possibly, but we'll wait and see. But we know that Spurs have got a very good side. But players to watch out for. First up, Harry Kane. What more can I say about him? He's the Premier League's deadliest striker. If you give him any sort of service, he will put the ball in the back of the net. Great from set pieces, so if a free kick or a corner comes in, he will stick the ball in the back of the net with his head, or you might just, you know, outmuscle someone and blast one in. He's someone who he'll peel off the defence. So if we're caught sleeping, if Jamal Lascelles and Fernandez don't wake up, then we could be in for a very, very, you know, similar afternoon in terms of a very, very negative one. Another player to watch out for, Heung-min Son. He got 4 goals against Southampton on that left-hand side. Someone who's very good at cutting in. He's got pace to burn. You've seen it against Burnley when he took on the whole side. He's not scared to break down a defence. He's not scared to take on a whole side We know his qualities. We know what he brings to the table. We know he's someone who, if you give him the right service, he will bang a few goals. And I am pretty scared. I'm not going to lie. And we know that he's played in the big games. And I think he's going to be their go-to man for goals alongside Harry Kane. Next up, Lucas as well, who played on that right-hand side in the free. Someone who looks positive, who can score goals. That Brazilian who, we know what Brazilians can do. They can cut in, they've got trick skill, and he will put a ball, in the back of the net if, he's played in and given that right service. In the midfield, Ndombele, a very good player there who's always learning the trade. Someone who, on his day, can feed in the likes of Heung-min Son, Kane, Lucas. He can put the ball in the back of the net, so we know what he brings to the table. In the free as well, they've got Højbjerg, who they've just signed from Southampton. Now, he was playing at centre-back last year, but he's been playing in the central midfield free. Good player, someone who's going to learn all the time. Mourinho seems to be a big fan of him, and he's definitely going to link up very well with Doherty and Lucas. And talking to Doherty, who they've just signed from Wolves, another good right-back who we know about. He did score against us 2 seasons ago, the winner at St James's Park, the 2-1. We did actually draw 1-1 with Wolves last season at St James's Park, and he nearly scored the winner there. But, Spurs are signing a very good right-back who likes to attack, who likes to get forward, and that's what he'll do on Sunday, so we'll have to watch out for him. Lloris is a very good keeper. I've always rated Lloris. I know he's had a few shaky moments, but Spurs, all in all, they're a good side. They're a good attacking side. I wish we had the players that they had, but listen, I know we're going to be in for a tough game, and Mourinho will make it difficult. They'll be looking for revenge in terms of their defeat against us this time last year. Spurs, don't get me wrong, they're hot favourites to win the game. I take nothing away from them, but it's what we do on Sunday. If we go about it with the right attitude, if we attack them, and we don't just sit back all the time, even if we do sit back, if we can do it in the right way and hit them on the counter, we've done it before against these top 6 sides, then we can cause an upset on the afternoon. It depends where Tottenham are in terms of fitness-wise. Gareth Bale, I don't think he'll start. He's got a knee injury, so we could be okay there. But at the end of the day, we can't underestimate what a good side Tottenham Hotspur are. So score prediction, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to try and stay optimistic, and I'm going to say 1-1. You could say Tottenham, yeah, they're going to win the game. They've got a better side. But anything can happen on the day. If we can put in a good performance, a good shift, then, a draw will feel like a win. But if we don't win, listen, it's not the end of the world. We're not going to get judged on beating these top 6 sides. But as long as we give our absolute all, that's all you can expect. But I want to see the likes of Callum Wilson, Miguel Almiron, even ASM if he comes on second off. Even if he starts, I want to see these guys on the ball. I want to see Jacob Murphy have a good game as well and prove what he's about. But yeah, listen, good luck to Tottenham Hotspur fans, for the rest of the season as well if you're watching. And yeah, may the best team win on Sunday. So if you enjoyed the preview, make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Help me to get to 3,400 subscribers. We're very, very close. And by you doing that, we can get there a lot quicker. And your support really does mean a lot to me. I've got a FIFA simulation as well the next day. And that'll be predicting Spurs versus Newcastle, just like I did the other day for Morecambe versus Newcastle. So plenty of content coming your way. I'll be back with that and the match review on Sunday afternoon. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you keep it tuned. Follow me on social media, TOON TV, Instagram and Twitter. Drop us a follow. I'll follow you back. And I'll see you all later.
I wanna know.